What happens when a congressman's 25-year-old grandson traps a 65-year-old Vietnam veteran inside a vehicle in 95-degree heat, then tells police, "Call my grandmother. She runs this state?" This privileged young man is about to learn that some threats explode backward, some body cameras record everything, and some grandmothers choose honor over shielding grandsons who torment veterans. It's a blistering July afternoon in Providence. 95 degrees, the kind of heat that turns parked cars into death traps. At Roger Williams Park, 69-year-old James Bennett sits tossing crumbs to pigeons, a ritual he's kept for 12 years since his wife died. James served 2 tours in Vietnam. He earned the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart. Tyler Brennan, 25, the grandson of Congresswoman Patricia Brennan, rolls into the lot in a Mercedes G-Wagon, designer clothes, luxury watch, permanent smirk. He's glued to his phone as he parks in a space marked reserved for park maintenance only. James approaches calmly. "Excuse me. That spot's reserved. Regular parking is just over there." Tyler doesn't look up. "Mind your business, old man." James tries once more. "I'm just helping before you get a ticket." Tyler finally looks up, eyes full of contempt. "Do you know who I am? My grandmother is Congresswoman Patricia Brennan. I park wherever I want. Get out of my face." What follows will be watched by 8 million people and become the most disturbing display of entitled cruelty Providence has seen. Tyler steps out, shouting, "You think you can tell me what to do? Look at you feeding pigeons like some homeless bum." James turns to leave. Tyler grabs his arm and spins him around. "You want to be helpful, old man? Get in my car. I'll show you what happens to people who don't mind their business." 3 witnesses later testify. James tried to pull away, saying, "Please, let me go." Tyler laughs, opens the back door, shoves the 69-year-old veteran inside, and locks the doors with his key fob. Within 10 minutes, the interior temperature hits 135 degrees. James is trapped, pounding the windows, screaming for help, clearly panicking. Tyler stands outside, leaning against the car, scrolling his phone, occasionally glancing up and laughing. Witness Maria Santos rushes over. "Let him out. He's elderly. It's 95 degrees." Tyler's icy reply, "He needs to learn to respect his betters. He'll be fine." Maria calls 911. Others start recording. Tyler poses for the cameras. "Go ahead. Post it. My grandmother's a congresswoman. Nothing's going to happen to me." Officer David Walsh arrives 8 minutes later. His body camera captures everything, footage that will rack up 8 million views. Walsh sees James in distress. "Sir, open this vehicle immediately." Tyler barely looks up. "Why?" "I'm teaching someone a lesson. Open it now or you're under arrest." Tyler smirks. "Do you know who my grandmother is? Congresswoman Patricia Brennan. She chairs the committee that oversees your federal funding. You really want to arrest her grandson over some old guy? I don't care if your grandmother is the president. Open that car now." Tyler shrugs, keeps scrolling for another 15 seconds as James's banging weakens, then casually unlocks the doors. Walsh yanks the door open. James collapses out, gasping, clothes drenched, face dangerously red. He's been locked inside for 11 minutes at 135+ degrees. Paramedics arrive. James is severely dehydrated, heat exhaustion bordering on heat stroke. His heart rate is critically elevated. For fluids start immediately, then comes the moment that sends this viral. As paramedics work, Tyler stands nearby on his phone. Walsh overhears, "Bro, I locked some old dude in my car for 10 minutes and cops are acting like I committed murder. I'm calling my grandma. She'll have this cop fired by tomorrow." Tyler looks at Walsh. "You have no idea what you just did. My grandmother owns this police department. You'll be directing traffic by next week." Then James's condition crashes. His eyes roll back. Breathing turns erratic. He goes into cardiac arrest. CPR begins on the spot. Tyler watches and says, "Caught on camera, this is so dramatic." He's probably faking it for a lawsuit. James is rushed to Rhode Island Hospital. He barely survives, 3 days in ICU, heart damage, severe heatstroke, months of recovery. Tyler is arrested. Aggravated assault. Unlawful restraint. Reckless endangerment. Threatening an officer. The body cam footage is released 8 million views in 48 hours. Justice for James trends. Veterans organizations demand prosecution, but what enrages everyone most is Tyler's Instagram post before his lawyer shuts him down. Media's blowing this way out of proportion. Guy was in my car for 10 minutes. My grandma will set the record straight. Fake news. Screenshots last forever. 2 weeks later, Tyler enters Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom wearing an expensive suit, looking irritated rather than remorseful. The room is packed, news cameras, veterans groups, citizens who watched the viral video. Congresswoman Patricia Brennan issues a statement defending her grandson, calling the charges politically motivated and the video misleading. She pressures the DA. Contacts the mayor. Judge Caprio has read the statement. Political pressure makes him lean forward, not retreat. James Bennett sits in the gallery, still weak, hands trembling from heatstroke damage. He wears his Vietnam veteran cap. The bailiff calls the case. Tyler steps forward with the same entitled smirk 8 million people recognize. Judge Caprio looks down. Mr. Brennan, you're charged with serious crimes against a 69-year-old Vietnam War veteran. How do you plead? His attorney rises. Not guilty, Your Honor. The charges are excessive. The incident has been misrepresented by the media. Counselor, I asked your client, Mr. Brennan, do you have a voice? Tyler stands, straightening his jacket. Not guilty. This whole thing is ridiculous. I made a mistake, but everyone's acting like I'm some criminal. The word ridiculous lands like a slap. Judge Caprio removes his glasses, his signature warning. Ridiculous? You forced a 69-year-old veteran into your car and locked him in 135-degree heat for 11 minutes. He suffered cardiac arrest. You call that ridiculous? Tyler glances at his lawyer, but his ego won't stay quiet. With respect, the guy was fine. He was out in 10 minutes. The heart attack happened later. You can't prove that came from my car. The gallery erupts. Mr. Brennan, Judge Caprio says, James Bennett served 2 tours in Vietnam. Earned the Bronze Star and Purple Heart. Worked 38 years as a postal carrier. Peacefully feeding pigeons. You tortured him because he asked you to move your car. Tyler shifts. I didn't torture anyone. That's dramatic. I was teaching him to mind his business. Judge Caprio stands, signaling something decisive. You just admitted to intentionally locking a 69-year-old man in extreme heat to teach him a lesson. Do you understand what you said? Your Honor, my client misspoke. Your client said exactly what he meant. Sit down. Judge Caprio nods to the clerk. Let's watch the body camera footage. All of it. Silence fills the courtroom as the video plays. Tyler standing casually while James pounds the glass, Tyler smirking as witnesses plead, Tyler threatening Officer Walsh, Tyler scrolling his phone while paramedics perform CPR. Devastating. Mr. Brennan, Judge Caprio says, we just watched you torture a Vietnam veteran while laughing, threaten an officer, and show zero concern during a cardiac arrest. And your defense is that this is blown out of proportion? Tyler's face drains. Everyone has bad days. I got stressful news. I wasn't thinking clearly. You locked a 69-year-old man in 135-degree heat for 11 minutes. What exactly did you think would happen? Your Honor, my client is young, from a respected family. No prior record. Counselor, Judge Caprio replies, your client's family connections are not evidence. His grandmother's position is not a defense. That ends today. Caprio steps to the edge of the bench. I've sat in this courtroom for 30 years. Most defendants show remorse. Real understanding that they hurt someone. Empathy. You've shown none of that. You locked a man who served this country inside lethal heat, and your only concern was your grandmother's influence. You truly believe consequences don't apply to you? Officer Walsh takes the stand. In 15 years on the force, I've never seen someone so dismissive. While paramedics were performing CPR, he called it dramatic. Said the victim was faking it for a lawsuit. Zero remorse. James Bennett testifies softly. I was feeding pigeons. It's something I've done since my wife passed away. He parked illegally. I politely mentioned it. I meant no disrespect. The next thing I knew, he forced me into his car. I couldn't breathe. The heat was unbearable. I thought I was going to die. He looks directly at Tyler. I served in Vietnam. I faced death there. I never imagined I'd almost die in a parking lot because I tried to help someone avoid a parking ticket. James swallows. Your Honor, I don't want revenge. I just want this young man to understand that every person deserves basic human dignity. Judge Caprio turns to Tyler. Would you like to apologize? Show even a shred of remorse. Tyler speaks. I'm sorry things got out of hand. I'm sorry Mr. Bennett was hurt, but people need to understand I was having a really stressful day. Judge Caprio's voice hardens. That's not an apology. That's an excuse. Mr. Brennan, that may be the most insulting non-apology I've heard in decades. And then Tyler makes the catastrophic mistake. He pulls out his phone right there in open court while Judge Caprio is speaking. Tyler starts typing, Mr. Brennan, what are you doing? Tyler doesn't look up. Texting my grandmother. She needs to know what's happening. This has gone too far. The courtroom gasps, put that phone away immediately. Tyler keeps typing. She's a congresswoman. She has the right. Bailiff, take Mr. Brennan's phone now. Tyler tries to hold on to it. You can't take my phone. My grandmother will hear about this. You just used your phone in open court during your own hearing after being told to stop. That is contempt. The bailiff hands the phone to Judge Caprio. The judge looks at the screen. I'm reading your text aloud for the record, Caprio says. Grandma, this judge is out of control. He's treating me like a monster over some old guy who was in my car for 10 minutes. The vet is playing it up for sympathy. You need to call someone at the state level. This is political. Get me out of here. Absolute silence. Judge Caprio looks up. You referred to Mr. Bennett, a decorated veteran who nearly died, as some old guy playing it up. You asked your grandmother to use political influence to interfere. You called this justice system political. Tyler's face drains of color. I didn't mean you meant exactly what you wrote. Caprio pauses. Mr. Brennan, you want your grandmother involved? I'm granting your wish. Clerk, contact Congresswoman Patricia Brennan immediately. I want her in this courtroom within the hour. Within 40 minutes, a video screen lights up. Congresswoman Patricia Brennan appears via Zoom from her Washington office. Congresswoman, Caprio says, your grandson faces serious charges for locking his 69-year-old Vietnam veteran inside his car during extreme heat, causing cardiac arrest. During this hearing, your grandson texted you asking you to intervene using political influence. I'm giving you the opportunity to address this court. A pause. Your Honor, she says carefully, I have the utmost respect for our judicial system. My grandson is under stress and may have reached out for family support. Congresswoman, Caprio replies, your grandson did not ask for support. He asked you to call someone at the state level and get him out of this courtroom. That is not emotional support. That is political interference. Your Honor, Tyler is young. Before we go further, I need you to understand what your grandson did. May I show you the body camera footage? I've been briefed. Being briefed and seeing are not the same. This will take 3 minutes. The footage plays. Congresswoman Brennan watches. Her composure begins to crack. She sees her grandson laughing as James pounds on the windows. She hears Tyler threaten police using her name. She watches Tyler stay on his phone while paramedics perform CPR. When the video ends, she is visibly shaken. Congresswoman, Caprio says, you've built your career advocating for veterans. Your grandson locked a Vietnam veteran in a car until he nearly died, then threatened police using your name. Are you asking this court to show leniency because of your position? 10 seconds pass. When she speaks, the political polish is gone. Your Honor, I need to be absolutely clear. Tears fill her eyes. I did not know the full extent of what happened. I was told there was an incident. I was told it was exaggerated. I believed my grandson. I used my influence to help him because he is family and I love him. Her voice breaks. But I just watched that video. I watched my grandson torture a man who served our country. I heard him use my name to threaten law enforcement. I heard him laugh while a 69-year-old veteran suffered. She steadies herself. Your Honor, I am not asking for leniency. I'm asking you to do the opposite. Tyler needs full accountability. He needs to understand that our family name, my position, does not exempt him from consequences. If anything, he should be held to a higher standard. Tyler's face collapses. Grandma, what are you doing? Tyler, I love you. You're my grandson. But I've spent 30 years in public service. I've fought for veterans' rights. I've stood at Arlington Cemetery. I've looked veterans in the eye and promised them their sacrifice matters. Her voice hardens. And you locked a Vietnam veteran in a car and laughed while he nearly died. You used my name to threaten police. You showed no remorse. Then you texted me to make it disappear. Judge Caprio speaks quietly. What are you asking this court to do? I'm asking you to treat my grandson exactly as you would any other defendant. In fact, she pauses, I'm asking you to consider whether someone raised with his advantages deserves even greater accountability. She looks straight into the camera. No, Tyler. No more excuses. No more using my name to escape consequences. You nearly killed a man who served this country. She turns back to Caprio. I'm also here to apologize to Mr. Bennett. My grandson's actions do not reflect the values I've tried to stand for. James stands slowly. Congresswoman, I appreciate your words. Thank you. The video feed goes dark. Judge Caprio looks at Tyler. Tyler Brennan, I find you guilty on all charges. This is one of the most disturbing cases of entitled cruelty I've encountered in 30 years. He delivers the sentence. 6 months in county jail. A $25,000 fine. 500 hours of community service at VA hospitals. Mandatory counseling for 2 years. You will write formal letters of apology. You will speak at 3 police academies about privilege and accountability. Upon release, you will work unpaid with veterans organizations for 1 year. Tyler is taken into custody. As he passes James, he whispers, Mr. Bennett, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. James replies quietly, young man, I hope you learn that veterans aren't props. We're human beings who served and sacrificed. We deserve respect. 6 months later, Tyler is released. He is visibly changed. He works with homeless veterans. He speaks at police academies. He accepts full responsibility. 1 year later, he meets James again. Mr. Bennett, I locked you in my car. I laughed while you nearly died. I was wrong about everything. I'm sorry. James answers calmly. I didn't serve so congressmen's grandsons could torture veterans. I served so everyone would be equal under the law. Your grandmother understood that. Judge Caprio understood it. Now you do too. Tyler Brennan walked into court believing his grandmother's power made him untouchable. He texted her expecting rescue. Instead, he watched her tell the judge to treat him harshly. He watched her apologize to the veteran he nearly killed. He watched her choose honor over protecting him.